Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Inner Swim YouTube yoga channel. My name is Jaylyn, and I'm really glad to be here with you today or tonight as we're going to move through a relaxing but still deep Yin Yoga practice. So this is a very slow paced practice that's going to help us to unwind. It'll be great to do after a long day. Maybe you've been sitting quite a lot or traveling. Maybe you just had a lot of winding up going on. And we're going to take it back down to earth. So all you need for this practice is a little bit of space and something to practice on, maybe a yoga mat or a blanket. So once you've got that, find a comfortable seat, any seat. Just take a moment to close down your eyes and right away turn inward. We'll begin with a few slower breaths, and these are just to clear out and sigh out any lingering, attention-grabbing thoughts from our day. So take a deep pull of breath in through your nose and let it out through the mouth. Twice more. Big pull of breath in. Let it out. Breathe in. Breathe it out. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way onto your hands and knees. We'll come into a strong tabletop pose here, setting up and stabilizing here at the beginning of practice. So palms under shoulders, knees under hips, pressing into the ground. Belly button is lifting ever so slightly. And then from here we'll move. So gently arching your spine, lifting your head, your tailbone. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, around your spine, letting your head drop and your tailbone drop down, pressing between the shoulder blades, that space there. Breathing out all the way, and as you breathe in again, we're going to arch the spine. Gently reaching your heart forward, your sit bones and tailbone back. And breathing out as you press and round and spread that space between the shoulder blades. Draw the belly in. Let's do one more like this. You might take 2 rounds of breath with the movement. That's all good. Just moving and breathing. Nice. And then come into the middle, looking at the ground just between your palms there, and we'll widen the knees. So maybe you make your knees a little wider than your hips, maybe as wide as your yoga mat. And we're circling around through the hips now. So take your time with this. We're going to circle all the way around the wrist side and all the way back over the heels. You can let your head go for this. And don't worry about this looking any kind of way. We're just lubricating the joints here, releasing any tension. And then when you feel ready, you're going to slow it down and reverse. You might feel a little stickiness or even some little noises coming from your joints. As long as it's still feeling good, all of that is perfectly natural and just a sign that you're releasing stagnant air and energies from the joints. Let's take another breath like this, moving, and then slowly find your way into your center. And we'll just gently slide the knees back together, coming back to that strong table. And when you're ready, sitting back on your heels if possible. If not, you can always sit on a little stack of pillows. So just sitting on the feet here, on the shin bones. Nice gentle lift through the top of the head. And if this feels quite intense just to be here, you're just gonna sit and stay and settle in. If you feel like, there's not too much sensation going on, you might like to give your ankles a bit more of a stretch as you lean back a bit, and maybe float your knees up off of the floor just an inch. And just add that little extra stretch through the tops of the feet and the ankles. Balancing here. And then gently release the knees if they're lifted. And we're going to lift our seat up a little bit, just enough to curl the toes under. And it might be quite enough just to curl the toes under. Sometimes that's intense enough on its own. You might like to add a bit more by bringing your weight back onto your feet. Maybe even sitting right up on your stretched toes. No matter where you are, connecting to your feet. We'll take one more breath here. And then walk those hands forward again if you've lifted up. Take your seat off of your feet. Go ahead and untuck your toes and sit right back on your heels. Nice. So we're just going to sit to one side here and stretch our legs forward. So you can give your legs and your knees a nice stretch here. Maybe flex and point the feet. Beautiful. So I'm going to face you now, but you can stay just as you are. We're going to come into a diamond seat. So with the soles of our feet together, creating this diamond shape with your legs. Your feet are quite far away from your torso, allowing your hips to relax and not feel strained at all. So just taking a moment here, arriving in your seat. We're going to move through some gentle stretches. Then we're going to find our way into a butterfly shape. So when you're ready, go ahead and open up your arms to a T. And we'll side bend here. So bring one palm to the ground by your hip. The other palm reaches up toward the ceiling and then overhead, facing down toward the ground. Relaxing your hips as you bend. And then pressing away from the ground or coming back into that T shape. And switch. Opposite hand comes down, opposite arm goes over. Relaxing the hips. Beautiful. Reach up toward the sky and out into that T. And then one more to each side here, side bending. Reaching back through the center and side bending to the other side. And reach back up through your center. And just holding onto your shin bones now, relaxing here in the center. Maybe taking a few small circles around in your seat now, circling your chest toward the heels, away from the heels, and lubricating those joints. So we're blending fluid movement, these kinds of movements that clear out stagnant prana, stagnant energies. And then we're blending in stillness, where we get to soak in, reflect a bit. So if you haven't already, switch the direction of your circles. And then when you're ready and you feel complete, slow it right down and come back to center. Good. So inviting some stillness as you bow forward now, passively, effortlessly, just falling forward. Your head gets heavy and relax here. You might like to support your head with something, maybe a pillow, maybe not. Releasing all efforts. Maybe coming back to your breathing. What might it be to softly focus on your breathing here? Relaxing your face, your feet. And you can let it all go here. And if possible, if we want to, we'll stay for just another moment. Maybe taking one last deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now using your hands, slowly, slowly walk yourself back up to sit with your heart over your pelvis. See how you feel. And we'll guide the knees together. Just go ahead and lean back a bit into your hands. We'll release that hip opener by letting our knees drop side to side. You can do this as slow as you like. And when you feel complete and balanced, Go ahead and find a little cross-legged shape for a sec as we prepare to come into our deer pose and deer twist. This will be a nice way to also release tension from the hips and the root chakra and sacral chakra regions of the body, the lower half. It's also going to help rejuvenate the spine as we twist and rotate through the torso. It's really good. We're going to start with one leg forward. Let's start with the left leg forward. And then your right leg is going to tuck back behind you as you sit in this kind of lopsided deer seat. So don't worry if your right side is lifted here. But if you want, you can sit on a pillow. Just pop something under your seat if you want a little more support. Once you've gotten somewhat comfortable here, we're going to invite some gentle cat and cow-like movements. So rounding back, kind of scooping the pelvis under and rounding the upper back. And then arching the spine forward, feeling this beautiful stretch and a lift through the spine. Let's just move back and forth like this. Maybe feeling this a little more now in the lower body. And moving with your breath so that you're inhaling as you lift and reach. And exhaling as you round back and scoop the belly and the pelvis. Let's do maybe 2 or 3 more rounds like this. Feeling nice and heavy through your legs, grounded through your legs. Nice. And when you feel complete with the cat and cow movements, come back to center. And here's where we'll take this into a rotation. So take this to whatever degree of rotation feels comfortable enough that you can hang out in it, but not so comfortable that you're gonna like fall asleep. So somewhere in between. So you might just start by bringing the palms right down, framing that left knee, feeling really gentle rotation there. Maybe you walk the palms right out alongside your left thigh. So a bit of a deeper rotation. See how that goes for you. And no matter where you are, there is the option to come down onto your forearms. Keeping that nice long spine. This can be a very sensational shape. I mean, everything can feel very sensational at times. So just being present with the sensations that are here for you now. And so long as you can breathe, and you can generally relax your muscles, especially through your hips and your feet, then you're in a good place. You don't feel quite supported here. Shift around, help yourself find a version of the pose that works, maybe on the palms, maybe more or less facing forward, wherever you are, breathing. And let your breath be soft. and your throat be soft. If possible, we'll stay for just a few more breaths, slow and steady. Awesome. And so if you lower down onto your forearms, slowly pick it back up onto your palms. Maybe pausing there up at the top of your shape, just feeling that rotation again, enjoying the rotation. Now that we're closing the shape off, you might experiment with the twist by engaging this back glute muscle, squeezing that a bit and helping yourself twist. And then slowly make your way back into your center. Talk about an unwind. So cool thing about this pose is to release, we're just going to come right onto the other side. And you can do that just by switching your legs and kind of doing a little fancy transition. I'm going to face you again. So we just want to get the right leg forward now and the left leg back, however it happens. Nice little whoop, switcheroo. You can come through it in a different way. Coming into the deer seat on your second side. So we'll start just with those wave-like cat-cow movements, arching and rounding, moving through the spine and the belly, don't forget. And let your movements be free. They don't have to be large. You can keep them small. You might even choose to stay still. Let's do 2 more rounds. Breathing and moving. This is such a healthy way to sit for our legs and the whole lower body complex, the pelvis, sacroiliac joints, the lower spine. And so when you feel complete, find your center, always coming back to that center. And maybe staying here, enjoying it, maybe starting to rotate a little bit with the palms facing that knee. Maybe you'll rotate quite a lot and have the palms on the outer edge of your thigh there. Wherever you are, feel your nice long spine reaching out through the top of your head. And again, there's the option to lower down onto your forearms. So I'll hold a little quiet space here on this side for you just to be with your own inner environment, your inner world here. In about 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll guide you out of the shape and we'll move on. Enjoying 3 more slow breaths. And now if you've lowered down onto your forearms, slowly pick it back up onto your palms. We'll pause there. We'll maybe stay in the twist or come a little deeper into that twist as we sit up nice and tall and gently squeeze that left glute muscle, rotating, maybe looking behind your shoulder, beyond your shoulder. And then slowly bring it back to your center. Beautiful. So this time we're going to unwind by bringing our hands forward and coming back into that tabletop shape. So nice and steady again. Oh, you might feel called to move around a bit, wiggle, maybe some cat and cows, maybe a little stillness and rest. So from here, we're nearly the end of our practice together. We'll take a couple more shapes to further lengthen out and open up through the spine. So wherever you are from here, you're going to bring your hips right over your knees again. And we'll just take a few breaths in a puppy stretch. So your palms walk forward and bring your forearms right to the floor here. So coming into like a forearm puppy stretch. And see how that goes. You might send your seat back. Maybe bring your forehead a little closer to the ground. Just one more breath. And then we'll bring the shoulders right over the elbows, so coming forward. And then go ahead and walk your knees back. Knees go back, feeling the spine get longer as you lower the thighs, the front of the hips, the pubic bones, and the very bottom of the front of your belly here. Gently curving your spine into a sphinx shape. You might bring your gaze to the floor just in front of your hands. And feel that subtle pull of your heart forward as you relax through your legs, your feet. So finishing our practice here nice and still and lifted. Enjoying just a few more slow breaths, the slowest ones of your whole practice. And the next time you're exhaling, slowly widen your elbows and reach your nose forward as you come down, lengthening out on your way down. Oh, and maybe making a pillow with your hands to rest your cheek or your forehead. Letting everything go here. There's no rush, but when you feel ready, go ahead and slide your palms back under your shoulders. And with some strength now, we're going to press ourselves up and back. And a welcome rounding of the spine now as you sit back toward your heels, coming into a child's pose. You might like to rest your head on your hands, or maybe right on the ground as you round your back and curl in. Now stay here as long as you like, or maybe join me in an upright, seated shape to close our practice with a quiet moment together. So sitting in your child's seat or just sitting on your seat, closing down the eyes if you haven't already. Be still in your body and welcome stillness. Maybe you feel still but full, like a place in the very heart of the ocean. Maybe you feel still but light, like the sky. Maybe both, maybe something in between. Honor how you are in this moment. Let yourself be. And when you feel ready, there's truly no rush. We'll close our practice with 3 deep breaths the same way we started. Breathing in through the nose and maybe holding the breath in for an extra beat. And let it go. Breathing in and holding that breath in, feeling the prana swirl within you. breathe it out. Balance. Take one more deep breath in. On this next breath out, letting go of this whole practice with gratitude. Feel free to join me, bringing the palms together in front of the heart to seal the practice in and to signify gratitude, to pause for gratitude. And I thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel like you unwound a little bit. After that, maybe you want to carry on in your meditative wave for a little while. I would encourage that. And definitely be sure to subscribe to the Inner Swim channel if you haven't already. And maybe check out the Inner Swim website, innerswim.com, where I upload all my latest yoga courses and offerings and lots of beautiful things on there for women's wellness as well. Thank you again so much for being here. Hari Om, Namaste, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.